So I'm almost at the finish line of Exodus. I'm at Exodus chapter 39, and I'm gonna read it. I don't care if people think I'm crazy. Who cares? I am crazy. So let's go. Exodus 39, chapter 39, verse 1, all the way up to the end of the chapter. And of the blue and purple and scarlet they made cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aaron as the Lord commanded Moses. So keep in mind the main colors of the garments, particularly in the ephod. There is I'll try to memorize it this time. Blue, purple, scarlet, and gold. Let's see if I have it right. Verse 1. And of the blue and purple and scarlet they made cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aaron as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the ephod of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. There we go. I aced it. Verse 3. And they did beat the gold into thin plates, and cut it into wires, to work it in the blue, and in the purple, and in the scarlet, and in the fine linen with cunning work. They made shoulder pieces for it, to couple it together. By the two edges was it coupled together. And the curious girdle of his ephod that was upon it was of the same, according to the work thereof, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen, as the Lord commanded Moses. Oh, the Bible got me. So I didn't ace it. I probably had I missed one, and it was gold. Because from verse 5, and the curious girdle of his ephod that was upon it was of the same, according to the work thereof, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet. Oh, okay, I did ace it. Okay, my bad. And fine twined linen. Gotta remember that. Fine twined linen, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they wrought onyx stones enclosed in ouches of gold, graven as signets are graven with the names of the children of Israel. And he put them on the shoulders of the ephod, that they should be stones for a memorial to the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the breastplate of cunning work like the work of the ephod, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. Those are the key words. Gold, blue, purple, scarlet, fine twined linen. And that was pretty much mentioned in a lot of parts in Exodus. Verse 9. It was foursquare. They made the breastplate double. A span was the length thereof, and a span the breadth thereof, being doubled. And they set it in 4 rows of stones. The first row was a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This was the first row. And the second row, an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in ouches of gold, and their enclosings. And the stones were according to the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, every one with his name according to the 12 tribes. And they made upon the breastplate chains at the ends of the wreathen work of pure gold. And they made 2 ouches of gold, and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 gold rings in the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the chest plate of the breastplate, and the 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains they fastened in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And they made 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate upon the border of it, which was on the side of the ephod inward. And they put 2 other golden rings and put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath toward the forepart of it, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod. And they did bind the breastplate by his rings unto the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it might be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not be loosed from the ephod, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, olive blue. And there was an hole in the midst of the robe, as the hole of an habergeon, with a band round about the hole, that it should not rend. And they made upon the hems of the robe pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet and twined linen. And they made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates upon the hem of the robe, round about between the pomegranates. A bell and a pomegranate round about the hem of the robe, to minister in, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they made coats of fine linen of woven work for Aaron and for his sons, and a mitre of fine linen, and goodly bonnets of fine linen, and linen breeches of fine twined linen, and a girdle of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet of needlework, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it a writing like to the engravings of a signet, holiness to the Lord. And they tried, verse 31, and they tied unto it a lace of blue to fasten it on high upon the mitre, as the Lord commanded Moses. Thus was all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation finished, and the children of Israel did according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so did they. And they bought the tabernacle unto Moses, the tent, and all his furniture, his taches, his boards, his bars, and his pillars, and his sockets, and the covering of rams' skins dyed red, and the covering of badger skins, and the veil of the covering, the ark of the testimony, and the staves thereof, and the mercy seat, the table, and all the vessels thereof, and the shewbread, the pure candlestick with the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for light, and the golden altar, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the tabernacle door, the brazen altar, and his grate of brass, his staves, and all of his vessels, the laver and his foot, the hangings of the court, his pillars and his sockets, and the hanging up for the court gate, his cords and his pins, and all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle for the tent of the congregation, the cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and the holy garments for Aaron the priest and his sons, garments to minister in the priest's office, according to all that the Lord commanded Moses. So the children of Israel made all the work. And Moses did look upon all the work, and behold, they had done it as the Lord had commanded. Even so had they done it, and Moses blessed them. So he blessed them through God. And they finished making the tabernacle and the robe and the ephod, and they put certain stones on the ephod, but you shouldn't get that. Beware, you shouldn't get that confused with what stone is your mood stone, because that is the beach is very humid sometimes, so I'm gonna turn up the window and turn on the air conditioner a little bit. Sometimes I'd rather have a hot day in the desert than a hot day at the beach. So anyways, the robe was made, and the altar was made. I mean, the robe was made, and the place of worship was made, and it was all done by the children of Israel as God had commanded, and Moses blessed them. And remember, there's 5 keywords of how the tabernacle was made. There was blue, purple, scarlet, gold, and fine twined linen. Remember these keywords, and I will have to think about how this church was made, because it's really hard to visualize how it was made, but you could tell it was huge back in the day. We're talking about a church that was probably like more than, I mean, it was probably about, it was big, it was big, it was tall, and it had candles, incense, you name it. Try not to get incense confused with smoking every day, because smoking is bad for you. And remember these things, because sometimes you could get it confused and it will kill you. Thank you for chiming in. I am basically at the finish line. I got Exodus chapter 40 left over, and that is the last chapter of Exodus, and I'm going to try to finish it, at least maybe today. I'll try to finish it today. You know what? It's a will. I will finish it today. I just got to study it a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, it starts out with a very important story, and it starts getting into the design of it. It's still important too, but very hard to picture, and very hard to measure it, and very hard to have mathematics about it from back in the day of how things were spent. But yeah, even then I could reread the whole thing of Exodus and relearn something, because I'll always relearn something and learn it. I can go over the whole thing of Exodus and learn something new again, and it can be something that I just read over. And that's how crazy the Bible is. Thank you very much, and thank you for chiming in. Have a wonderful day.